Okay, we are now live and ready to go. I'll just wait for the others to say hello.
Oh, wait, are you talking about us as the others?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were hello. I thought you were talking about whoever is listening to this saying hello in the group chat.
Ah, I see. I should probably be more clear about that in the future. But anyway, yeah.
I'm happy to get this ball rolling whenever you folks are.
Hell yeah. Welcome back to Chronicles of the Cloudsea. We are going to, we'll get right into a recap of what happened last time. To remind you guys, last session, after you finished your battle by the armory, the Aarakocra monk revealed his name to be Orus, and he sort of faced off with the big snake or serpent out in the Cloudsea by summoning Striegand the Owl, who scared him away. After that, there were 5 airships that pierced through the clouds and started unloading enemies of different types, including some elementals, which, thanks to Kami's favorite enemy being elemental, we learned were the Azur. Some devilish creatures, some of which had wings. And lastly, there were some monstrous amphibians. And you battled all of these creatures on the beach and the quayside wharf, and it was pretty much a full-on battle session. From there, during those battles, some of the townspeople adventurers got captured. You saw Benson get captured, as well as Malia and Billy. Any thoughts on Billy being captured? So Jazz, at the end of the last battle, flew off after Malia. That's pretty much where we're going to pick it up.
We go over that part about Billy getting captured again?
Sorry, cover who got captured?
I'm just kidding, Billy.
Oh, about Billy, sorry. So we will return to the quayside wharf map where you guys left off. As the dust is settling, you see Sige flap his wings, and he looks over at you guys and waves. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go help my friends. And he flies off after Malia and Jazz. Jeez, he didn't even say other friends, right?
Yeah, basically I just watch. I'm still in full wolf mode, but yeah, I just watch him then. In this state, now that the fight is over, can I, sniff the air to try and get a sense of what direction my siblings are in?
Sure. You'll have to do 2 rolls for this.
Which ones would those be?
So you'll do a perception check to see if you pick up the scent, and then we'll have you do a nature check to see if you can discern their smell through all the other smells that might be in the area.
Okay,
oh boy.
Nat 1 on the perception and an 8 on the nature. We're off to an amazing start today.
Yeah. You lift your nose up in the air and sniff around. There are way too many odors. It's very overwhelming to your senses, and you actually get a little flustered at that, unfortunately.
Actually, just a sec. I have the ability as a direwolf, keen hearing and smell. I think I have advantage on any perception checks related to smell.
Oh, cool. So do a second roll for perception.
Okay, don't fuck me. 16!
You don't pick up their scent. Their scent is not in this area.
You can see that I'm just padding around the market square, just sniffing at the cobblestones and just making distressed dog noises.
Okay, cool. And Norin, let's have you do, if you want to take a look around, you could do either an insight check, which you have proficiency in, or you could do a perception check, which you also have proficiency in. Okay, so you look around and you actually look into the sky because you did notice earlier there were flying enemies, and you see some of the airships that pierced the clouds earlier are now making their way over the city. It's 2 of the airships that were brigantine-sized or schooner-sized is how I describe them. And you see 2 of them flying overhead. One that's, they're both going north of where you are, and one, you actually see big wings flapping from off of the deck, and a creature of a considerable size is disembarking from the deck, and at the same time, there is kind of like a trap door underneath the ship that is releasing kind of like a cage on a chain, and it drops very quickly. And it is generally north of where you guys are. And from your recollection, it's actually above the market area that you met Caitlin in earlier. So if you would like, you can relay this information to Caitlin as well.
I turn to look and still bewildered, unsure what to say as she's still in dog form sniffing around.
I can sense that you're looking at me, so I just, look over to you, and you see that the wolf is looking at you now.
And I whisper, or I say, can you even understand, or can you respond, or can you... Okay, so I explain everything that I just saw with the ship and ask, what do you think we should do? If we should go follow Sidge, or if we should go to, continue to look for Sidge, or head towards the ship.
Double check. The ship is that in the direction of the market, or?
Yes, it is flying over the market. There's two ships. Sorry, there's two ships.
Okay, and the market is where my siblings are, right?
Yes.
I just look at you, look over to the market, in the direction of the market, and bark again and just start running.
So as you're running, you actually also notice there are now creatures coming off of the beach and into the wharf you guys are now, or you are now running away from. Pit Gazer joins in, and he raises his bow and yells, "Go on, lass, I'll keep them at bay." And he signals to you, Norin, as an opportunity for you to break away as well.
Was Caitlin injured at all?
I think so, actually. You know what? Let's just do one of these. Then Oris drops in. He drops in off of the burning building to the right of you guys, and he tosses you 2 more potions.
I was going to say, I could just start handing out good berries, is my initial thought.
I would say if you were to summon the good berries and split them between the 2 of you right now, that would also be good for later, potentially.
Oh, okay.
But he tosses you each one of those flasks that you had earlier, and he looks at you. "Those are my last 2. I'll help hold these monsters off." So you each get one of the flasks that you drank earlier, which, if you recall, were the equivalent of having a long rest.
He tosses it over, I grab it with one hand, and I say thank you for this, and start running towards Caitlin.
Okay.
I guess you catch both of them because...
I was gonna say catch both of them, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I see that you're... So are you, like, uncorking and offering me a potion?
I look side to side, I said, I guess I'll hold on to this. I'll hold on to this until you're ready to drink it. And then I put it into my pocket and continue to run. Or just say, all right, then now. I uncork it and gesture for you to open your mouth.
Okay, the wolf opens... I open my mouth, and before he can react, I've already, like, got the potion, and, like, I've clenched it in my jaws, and I'm just drinking it like a baby in a baby bottle, more or less, and just...
I stare in bewilderment and say, like, well, all right, then. And then we'll continue, and once again, turn to look to where we're headed. If
you want to take this opportunity to get the good berries, let me just see if you have something you can attach them to Caitlin with.
Is that a roll, or is that a...
It is not a roll. You just get them for free. You do have some rope, but I don't think...
I could just look around across. I mean, the place is burning down. I could look for something.
Yeah, okay, you know what? You see a pouch on Pit Gazer's belt, and he notices you looking. "Oi, you need one of these, mate?"
I do, actually. You mind if you can spare that for this journey?
Okay. He tosses you the empty pouch. If you would like, you can attach it to Caitlin and put 5 good berries in it, or however many good berries you want.
I still walk up a little hesitant, and I put him in the bag, and I motion to them putting the bags and I gesture towards tying it around your neck, but kind of cautiously to make sure that I'm not going to get bit in the process.
Is Caitlin Wolf willing?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
I cooperate with you as best I can.
We'll say it's an automatic success, and you guys make your way out of the wharf. You're now roughly right here on the south end of Market Street. So Chris, you, as Caitlin the Wolf, you look down the street You can see at a very great distance there are creatures surrounding the area that had the vendors, and you make out a cage in the distance, and you can see some people in the cage, and you actually hear a familiar voice call out, "Caitlin!"
Okay, which one of my siblings is that?
You recognize it to be Jalissa's voice.
Okay, so I'm guessing she's just calling for me wherever I am, and she hasn't seen me because I'm a wolf, and this is the first time I've ever done this, but yeah, when I hear my sibling shout my name, I just begin barking frantically, and what was like an already determined sprint just goes all out as my fangs are bared and I am just going in like a wolf for the kill.
Excellent. So you guys will roll for initiative.
Okay. Oh, that's a nat 6.
We'll just say you're so blindly into it, like you're too focused to the point that you're not aware of the situation. You're just in tunnel vision, I guess. Yep. You know, when you play Overwatch and you just keep running to your death, that's where you're at.
You just want to get on the point, but you're not taking your time to see if there are any other enemy nearby.
Yeah, exactly.
Stellar.
Oof. So, Caitlin, as you run into Market Street, you see a large humanoid creature with broad wings flapping down towards where the cage. You're too far to see who's in it, but you can insinuate that one of your sisters is in there at least.
Okay.
And that creature, Kami, is the creature that Norin saw flapping from up above, and it is pretty scary looking.
Wolf, that's a big creature.
You get a sense when you look at him that he might be some kind of big, bad, evil guy.
He's just misunderstood.
Let's get your character tokens on here. So he's actually a little bit bigger than you in wolf form, but not much.
Is there a time limit on the wolf form?
I have 1 hour, so I'm good for now.
Norin, your character has about 45 minutes left on the hunter's mark also. So you guys are pretty good for combat. First of all, you run into the market square and you see... First of all, Caitlin, you see that Jalissa and Ashlyn are in the cage, along with 2 other townspeople, but you don't see any sign of your other 2 siblings. You do, however, notice Donkey is being harassed by 3 smaller fiendish creatures, while there's a workhorse being harassed by 2, and the cage is surrounded by 2 flying creatures covered in spikes, as well as the big, bad, evil guy. The little guys are going to go first. They're just going to let out a gross giggle and try to look for an opening as they fly around your donkey cart here. And one of them actually pokes Donkey, but the other 2 can't. And you see this workhorse tied to a hitching post outside of the inn. The creatures can't really get close to it. Meanwhile, the other 2 that are by the doorway to the inn, and they're trying to break in. But surprisingly enough, none of them seem to have actually noticed you yet.
Okay, cool. All right, so who's going first?
After them, it will be Norin.
I look ahead and see them poking, and I look to them in the cage, and then I look to the left and see them trying to poke at the donkey, and I go immediately just go for a shot to try to get them off of the donkey, so we can have a little bit more of a clear opening to try to free up the cage.
Make a attack roll and see if you hit. You land a hit.
As a Gloomstalker, during your first turn, if you take the attack action, you can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. So,
oh really?
You've already made 1 attack. You can make a second one against the same target if you want.
It's not going to be a problem in this case.
That was a pretty good roll.
Yeah. So the arrow flies right through him, and it's basically like getting a headshot. His head explodes. The small body of the creature falls to the ground. The other 2 are now looking at you, Norin. You can still move if you'd want to go anywhere, like get further away, for example.
Honestly, I think we should just kind of go back to back with Caitlin and just stay together because right now we have a pretty good eye shot of everyone.
Very wise. So Caitlin, in that case, you will go next.
Okay, my turn. So these two enemies that are menacing this cage, what do they look like exactly?
They have a fiendish appearance like everything else on the map, but they are roughly human size, and they have long wings, but their entire body is covered in spikes.
Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah, since they're the closest ones to the cage, and I guess Caitlin's mind is just dead set on rescuing her siblings, first she's going to go into a rage as a bonus action, and then she's going to attack the nearest one over here.
Alrighty, and make your attack roll.
And that is going to be a bite attack. That is a 9 to hit.
That unfortunately misses.
Yeah, I figured. Okay.
So you take a chomp at the creature, and it now notices you and spins around.
And yeah, I guess Jalissa and Ashlyn inside the cage, they don't see their sister, but they do see a massive wolf trying to kill one of the things outside the cage.
Indeed. So now it's the donkey's turn. So the donkey is going to catch one of these creatures and try to kick at it with its hind hoofs. And I really hope it hits, because that would be hilarious. And it does hit. It is gonna hit it with its hooves for 3 damage. The donkey, hee-haw, it kind of kicks back and smacks one of the smaller creatures in the chest, but the creature shakes it off and doesn't seem too bothered. Now it's going to be the workhorse's turn, and it's also going to hit. This one is going to possibly hit a little bit harder. Oh, so close. It actually kicks up its front hooves and stands on its hind 2 legs before jumping down forward and kicking its rear legs out, and the other imp takes a really nasty hit, and you see a horseshoe impression on its chest, but otherwise the creature is surprisingly still alive. Meanwhile, this big dude up here, you see him grab onto the cage with one hand, and he tugs the chain attaching to the top of the cage with the other hand. And you see Caitlin and Norin, the chain goes taut. Meanwhile, inside the cage, Jalissa's just screaming, "Ah, a wolf!"
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, really getting your priorities sorted there, Jalissa. I expected as much from you.
Yeah. And she's just like, Caitlin really did see a wolf!
Okay, well, a momentary, bit of vindication there, but it's quickly overtaken by just pure rage and panic.
One more thing is going to happen, possibly. Could you, Caitlin, do a perception check?
Hey, let's see what happens.
And actually, you can do it with advantage.
Ooh, okay, just a moment. 16.
Okay, cool. So you catch a familiar smell, and it is coming from the northwest of where you are. So you look over and you see, well, she's not that big, but you see one of your younger sisters peek out from an open box behind one of the abandoned stalls, and it is Dorothy.
Okay. Well, if Thea is in hiding, then that's great. She's not involved in this fight. She's not at risk of being captured. So, yeah, I'm just going to focus on the siblings that are getting kidnapped.
Excellent. It is going to be the monsters' turns again. And now, Norin, these two, we'll do one first, just because.
Oh, is there 2 over there? I just.
Oh, yeah, there's 2 to the left of you. He is going to try to attack you with his tail, actually. He pulls back his tail, and it slaps at you with his tail, and it has a very gnarly looking spike on the end of it, but it actually doesn't break skin, luckily. However, the second imp is going to fly over behind you, and it is also going to make an attack, this time with advantage, and it's going to hit. So he pulls back his stinger on the end of his tail and darts it into your back. You feel it pierce skin, and you unfortunately will have to make a Constitution saving throw. You feel something oozing out onto your skin, but it doesn't seem to get into your blood. But there's like basically a slime going down where it stung you from.
Ugh.
Of course.
Meanwhile, the other groups of imps, they're still trying to tackle the workhorse, not having a lot of luck. They're poking at it. They're actually breaking its skin, but they can't seem to make much purchase. The other two are still attacking the door, and one of them actually pries its pitchfork into the doorway, which is, it doesn't give way, so you gather that it's barricaded from the other side. Meanwhile, this creature now has its eyes on you, Caitlin, and it is going to try to attack you. First of all, it's going to make one attack using its jaws, or it's going to try to bite at you. And sorry, what was your AC as the wolf?
I believe as the wolf, I have AC 14.
So that is going to hit. And it's going to make a second attack with its... And hopefully that one doesn't hit. But it does. Okay, the first attack is going to do 8 damage. So it lunges forward with its pitchfork. And it does break skin on your front elbow. Your left elbow, rather. And okay. The second attack with its tail, it rears back its tail, and this one's not going to be as bad. And it does 2 damage, but it basically goes for the same spot. And luckily this one's not poisoned, so yeah, you take 10 damage total.
Fun. Okay. Is this damage slashing, bludgeoning, or piercing?
The first one is slashing, the 8, and the second one is piercing.
Okay, so that's 5 points of damage altogether. I am down to 37.
This second one, however, is going to fly up onto the roof, and it whips out its tail at a distance, and one of the spikes comes off, hurls at you at a rather fast pace, mildly putting it, and that one is going to hit. When it hits you, it also explodes into flame.
Oh, fun.
And it does 1 damage.
Okay, 33.
Not too bad. So now it is Norin's turn.
It's a very cool temperature flame. So, nobody has noticed what's her face over here, right?
Caitlin's noticed her, and actually we can have you do a perception check as well.
Nope, do not see her.
I not only do you not see her, you, as far as you're concerned, what you can see on the battlefield is all that exists. In your studies, you actually came across a theory involving Schrodinger's cat, which explains anything. Basically, you gather anything you can't see doesn't exist until you see it.
Good lord.
In any case, you can do something if you choose. But I will remind you, you are surrounded right now, too.
Well, initially I was going to say maybe I should go kind of put myself in between, kind of distract away from her, but I guess I have to deal with these. I turned to the one that was that hit me with the stinger, and I just thrust my hand axe on top of its skull. Sorry,
make an attack roll. Oof. That, unfortunately, you pull back, and in your rage, you swing at the creature, but it's very nimble and flies in and out from your attack
arc. Do I
arc.
Attack her since it was so bad, do I not?
Oh, wait, that's a critical failure. Man, you got 2 critical failures in a row.
I did, so I have to roll a 3rd time again? Make sure I don't die?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What do I roll? The same thing?
So roll a d20.
I seem to get in this situation a lot, don't I?
I've never seen anybody die this way. Okay, so you don't die. You feel like if you're so blinded by your rage, you feel like if you made the wrong move, you might have actually nicked your other arm and maybe chopped off an artery, but that doesn't happen, luckily. But you feel the possibility. Yeah, so do you want to do anything else? To be honest, I'm not sure it's worth it to move. This is a little bit meta, and I probably shouldn't spoil it for you. If something can fly, it can catch you, basically.
Oh, okay.
So wherever you run, it can fly further.
It's just like a really annoying fly in your house.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, it almost makes more sense to just stay put and not risk getting or incurring an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Unfortunately, since they are surrounding you, they'll get an attack with advantage.
I'll stay put, but say something really mean to one of them.
You know what you want to say?
I can't say it, you're live.
Okay, so you cuss in the Elvish tongue, Rafmakdrokne, and whatever you say is your own business.
I hope your closed captions were John.
Okay, so it is Caitlin's turn.
All right. This big guy back here, he's grabbed the cage. Is he trying to lift it up into the air?
So what you saw him do, he's grabbing onto it with one hand, and the other hand he pulled on the chain, like gave it 2 tugs, and then the chain went taut. And the chain, if you follow it up with your eyes, the other end is connected to one of the airships.
Oh, great. Okay. So, I am going to... okay, but this thing is in front of me, so I guess it's getting between me and the cage, so I'm going to just keep attacking it and try to kill it as fast as I can in order to get to the cage.
I think that's not a bad idea. So make your attack roll.
You got it. That's a 12 to hit?
Oof. Very close, but unfortunately you didn't break skin. You bite at it, but it's hard to get your teeth in between its spikes. Is there anything else you can do or would like to do?
I'm gonna move up so that I'm next to the cage, but yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I'm just gonna wait to see if it begins lifting up into the air, and yeah, if it does, then I'm gonna change my tactics.
It is now the donkey's turn. The donkey pulls forward, lunging towards you, Norin, but it's caught by its ropes, so it can't go any further. The workhorse, on the other hand, it's going to try to kick the creatures again, and unfortunately it misses. Meanwhile, Jalyssa's cowering in the corner of the cage. She looks behind her at the big winged creature and cowers forward, back and forth. She really doesn't know where to go. She almost slips out of the cage there. And meanwhile, the cage starts to ascend, and the creature holding onto it is hanging off the side as it ascends. About 30 feet.
In the air? Damn, okay.
So it is now the monster's turn. And the same 2 that are going for you, Norin, are going to continue their same strategy. First one is going to hit. Similarly, you're going to have to do another constitution check.
So I'm to 14 damage, or 14 hit points left?
Yes. Similarly to the first one, this one pokes you kind of in the oblique, finding a crack in your armor set, and you feel something oozing out onto your skin, but it doesn't penetrate. However, you do still take damage. Meanwhile, the second one is going to try to poke at you with its pitchfork, and that's going to be a hit. So it pokes at your back with its pitchfork, and it finds its way in between the bindings of your rear armor and does a little bit of damage, breaking skin. But it's not too bad, actually. However, you are down to 11 hit points.
So I started to sprawl with.
The other 2 creatures that were attacking the workhorse, one of them starts to go away now because it realizes it can't break skin. The workhorse is going to get an attack of opportunity, and it's going to hit. As the creature turns around, the workhorse bucks its hind legs, and one of the horseshoes cracks into the creature's face, and you hear a chunky noise like bone breaking, and the creature flops over dead. The other creature, seeing what happened, is going to try to fly away as well, and that is also going to incur an attack of opportunity, which hits. And this time, the workhorse takes a bite out of the creature as it flies away, and you see the teeth, like a row of a giant set of chiclets chomping down on the creature, breaking its skin, and blood flies everywhere. But the creature's still alive.
Well, Caitlin, I may be a worthless partner, but that horse is doing some damage, so...
Yeah, that's a good horse.
Yeah. So these 2 over here, one of them still trying to pry open the door, and you hear wood splinter. And it's going to be this guy's turn, and he's going to try to continue attacking you up close, because, to be honest, he's been doing pretty good at that. He's going to take a bite out of you, or try, and he's actually going to miss. That's his first miss. And then he is going to pull back his tail and try to slap you with it. But that's a miss as well. The second one up on the roof is going to try to attack you at range again. And that one is going to hit. What is that, 3 damage with your resistance? Is it rounded up or down?
I believe it's rounded down, so that would be 2 for me.
Sweet. And then, similarly to the previous spine, when it hits you, as it hits you, it explodes into flame and does an additional 2 damage.
Okay. Alright, I'm at 29 hit points.
Okay, you're still doing great. Let's have you roll another perception check.
Okay. Is this with advantage or normally?
We'll say actually it's with advantage again.
26.
Sweet. Now you see another giant child quickly
They grow up so fast.
Quickly shrink down, and he's peeking out in between the cart to the northwest and the crate closest to it.
Aw. Okay. Well, they're both safe. That's pretty good. Okay.
But since you rolled so well, you notice that the guy up on the roof, as you look around the battlefield, you notice the guy up on the roof looks over at your brother, Theodore.
So that thing is probably going to go after him. Gotcha. Okay.
Which thing?
This guy over on the right-hand side near the big old horse.
Just to be meta again, I will also remind Norin that he does have something that could be used to stop a creature who's flying.
Oh, yeah. God, I should have used that on the damn cage.
So it is Norin's turn.
Can I do an attack in that, or is it one or the other?
It's one or the other, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I should probably try to pick up these things still at me. So, getting frustrated with these things, keep kind of going tit for tat with. I pull my bow out and just try to do a dead shot right in his face, just so I can get back to Caitlin.
Yeah, sweet. You will roll with disadvantage, but I still think it's a wise decision because you do a lot more damage with that weapon. So basically you roll twice and you take the worst of the 2 rolls. You can roll 2 d20 plus 8.
That's kind of terrifying knowing the way I'm rolling.
Well, the plus 8's a lot better than what you get otherwise.
So 11.
Unfortunately, it's not quite enough. It is close though, but you fire off the arrow and it grazes the creature's ear, but doesn't draw blood. You could, if you want, your good berries or a bonus action.
Yes. I would like to do that.
All right, it is Kate's turn.
So I see that this thing is getting ready to attack my brother, so I am gonna move over to this side of the creature that I'm fighting without it disengaging from him.
Sweet.
So basically circling around him like a wolf, so that basically I'm getting in between this thing over here and my brother. And I am going to just keep trying to attack because that's all I can really do right now.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, that's more like it.
And roll for damage.
11 points of damage.
Yeah, you take a chomp out of the creature and you start a death shake. As you release it, you see it is gushing with blood, and it looks at you, drooling, enraged. It is not happy that you hurt it, basically.
If it wants to talk about rage, like 2 of my siblings are being kidnapped right in front of me. I can't do anything about that, and another monster is getting ready to maul one of my siblings. So, yeah, like, Caitlin is just pure instinct mode, just everything is red, and all she wants to do is just rip everything in her path apart.
Excellent. Okay, so it is the donkey's turn, and it is gonna lunge forward, and it actually snaps one of its reins, and it gets just enough distance that it can take a bite out of the imp in front of it with advantage, which isn't gonna help it. It snaps at it, but it's just held back a little bit too much, but luckily for Norin, they are now flanking. The other horse is going to actually lunge forward, and it is close enough that it can still try to bite the creature in front of it. Oh boy, is the horse going to die here? He lunges forward, and the reins snap one of its teeth. And you see a horse tooth fall to the ground as the creature shrieks. Yeah. The creature shrieks in pain. There's blood dribbling from under its bite. It's going to be the little guy's turn again. This one, he's actually going to ease up off of you, Norin, and try to attack the donkey again, because he doesn't like being flanked. And he's going to hit donkey, unfortunately, for a lot of damage. He pulls back his tail and slashes against Donkey's chest, and Donkey is now bleeding profusely, but it doesn't seem to have severed a artery. The bleeding is manageable. However, the second imp is going to attack you, Norin, and it does still get advantage, which is going to be enough. First of all, it's going to do 7 damage. Then you will make a Constitution saving throw.
7 damage against me?
Yeah. This time you feel something pump into your skin from the tip of the creature's tail. Actually, I think it won't damage you on this turn anyways, but you feel a little bit worse for wear after that. The one that you just attacked, Caitlin, is going to turn its attention or continue its attention on you. First of all, with another bite, which misses. It snaps at you, its teeth chomping, it snarls, drooling. You get sprayed with some of its saliva, but saliva don't do damage in this case. And it is, instead of attacking you with its tail, this time it's going to try to attack you with its pitchfork. Ooh, man, what's with all the critical failures? Okay, it trips forward, and it pierces itself, but it's a grazing blow. It just skins its cheek with one of the prongs on its pitchfork. Now the other one is going to fly overhead of you, but it is within reach that you can get an attack of opportunity against it.
Okay, so let's see what happens. 15?
That is a hit.
Awesome!
You see this creature fly roughly 12 feet above you, and it appears to think it's safe at that distance, but you jump up and grab onto its leg, and you start mauling at its leg. The creature falls to the ground as you do so. He's actually going to make a check to see if he keeps his balance, but he doesn't. He falls to the ground prone.
Awesome.
Donkey's going to go again.
Go Donkey.
And he's going to attack with advantage. Oof. Okay.
Proud of you,
Go Donkey, go Donkey, go!
Oh, come on. I wanted this thing. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Donkey takes another bite out of this creature, and it draws blood as it snaps at the webbing of the creature's wing, but unfortunately doesn't kill it. Let's have both of you do another perception check as well.
Say normal one or with advantage?
This is a normal. Okay, so Caitlin, you look up at the cage and you see it is now 60 feet in the Norin, you are distracted by the battle, so you unfortunately don't see anything. But it is the creature's turns again. The one attacking Donkey is going to continue. He's actually going to attack or try to attack with his stinger. And he's going to hit. And I don't think Donkey is going to survive. Nope. The creature makes a tail whip at Donkey, and Donkey stumbles backwards and falls down to the ground unconscious. And you, Norin, you notice where it got stung, there is a green fluid leaking out of its wound. The creature right here is going to take its turn to stand up. The other one is going to try to continue attacking. So it takes a bite out of you and it totally misses. But it continues attacking you with its pitchfork. And that one is going to hit. It only does 1 damage. And the second one, unfortunately, can't attack. Meanwhile, the imps over here, this one continues to pry open the door, and you hear another board splinter as it seems to make some progress. This guy's gonna start joining them because he's lost interest in the horse. But it is now Norin's turn.
What's inside the building right here again?
That is the inn that you guys met up in earlier.
And I still don't know that the 2 kids are over there.
Yeah, no, you don't know that they're over there.
Could I use my thing to block my spell to kind of just cover the door and hold it shut?
The ensnaring strike, or what other spells do you have?
I think that's it right now.
Yeah, you could use it that way if you'd like. You still do have the potion as well, so if you use that, you'll actually get your spells back. Because that, to remind you, the way it works is it's like giving you a full day's rest, basically. So if you did want to do that, yeah, you basically just do it. You could try using it on one of the creatures in front of you, too.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh wait, sorry. The way it works, you do have to land an attack.
Okay.
Well, if you do attack one of them, which one would you prefer to attack? The one on the left or right?
Whichever one has the most hit damage, or the one that is most alive.
So it is this
the
one
on the right, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you, let me just look at your weapon stats real quickly. So if you attack with your dagger, you actually will do more damage and have a higher chance of success. So if you want to do that and also use your ensnaring strike, basically you roll a d20 plus 6.
Okay, ignore that, even though it was a good roll, because that was plus 8. Because I had the thing where like this actual dice, and I pulled it, and then I realized it was the wrong one, so I tried to make it really tiny, and it still rolled it. Hey.
So you can roll for damage, d4 plus 4. So you take a slash at it across the chest with your dagger, and the creature screams as you notice vines start to sprout from where you slashed it. And roll for another d6.
Just so d6 with nothing else?
D6 0? Yep, just a d6. The vines reach out of the gashing wound and start to bind the creature. It falls to the ground prone, and it's not looking too healthy at the same time. With your current situation, it would be wise to possibly use your potion as your bonus action right now.
Oh, I was gonna do that. Yeah, definitely gonna do that. But so like, what's the wait time? Was it an hour you said?
For the hunter,
would it be after the potion? I could do it again, or?
Oh yeah, as soon as you take the potion, basically you get everything back. So you're gonna drink the potion?
Yes.
You feel totally revitalized, and you regain your entire health pool. You see your wounds knit up, and you feel the blessing of Striegand the Owl coursing through your veins. You're good to go.
I feel like I should just like, stock up on potions and just like drink spell, drink spell, drink spell.
Oh, well, these might be super rare. Possibly.
I'm just drinking 2. I've already drank 2 in like an hour.
The donkey, it is going to make a death saving throw, and then it is going to make a constitution throw, and you see he looks very green around the gills. Meanwhile, the workhorse is going to try to bite this prone enemy with advantage. Ooh! Well, at least the animals are getting crits.
I was gonna say, they're the ones gonna save us in this kind of situation.
Yeah. Okay, let me think here real
Caitlin's
quick.
gonna look to be like, I'm sorry, but we're gonna trade you out of this party. We're gonna take the horse.
Yeah. Sorry, the horse is replacing you.
Okay, we are gonna roll for damage, and the horse fucks its hind legs, and similarly to the imp, it on the creature's chest, and it is a pretty heavy hit. Well, the creature's still alive. However, it is now the enemy's turn. First one is going to try to break from the vines and actually succeed.
Jeez.
But that's all he gets to do.
What's the roll required for them to break free? Is it?
Actually, let me just double check this. The roll it has to make is 13 to resist one of your spells, rather. Okay.
I think maybe next level up I should switch out those spells for the one that's more defensive.
Well, that one, he basically lost a whole turn and took a decent amount of damage. It didn't
took damage as well.
A small amount of damage, but it restrained him for a turn, which actually is very beneficial. Like, he has to take the whole turn getting loose from the vines, basically, and he has a chance to fail at it as well. It's just luck based, right? Like the defensive one is still good as well, but it's like they have different benefits, basically. If you shot at him and he were like 50 feet in the air, he'd probably fall to his death.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an awful situation either. Anyway, the other one is going to try to attack you with his pitchfork because he no longer has the spine in his tail. And he is going to miss. So he pokes at you with his fork, and unfortunately for him, he can't make a successful attack. Meanwhile, the one that's going for you, Caitlin, is going to continue. He does have advantage now, but he unfortunately misses his bite, but he does get a second attack. Actually, it's going to hit, but he does 1 damage. The other creature, luckily, is now pissed off at the horse in front of him. So that's who he's going to go for. And that's probably not too good for the horse. One of his attacks lands, and he takes a bite out of the horse's, we'll say his rear hip on the right side, and it's a pretty big chunk, but the horse rears forward in pain, but he is still alive. Meanwhile, the other imps trying to break into the door, they break off one of the pieces of wood that make up the door. So, Norin, it's your turn again.
I want to be helpful, but I'm just getting bogged down by these two.
Yeah, you guys kicked so much ass on the previous imps that I was like, oh, well, you'll be able to handle these no problem.
Yeah, we're taking the L this time.
Yeah.
I look over at Caitlin and I try to at least show some sort of semblance of some sort of solidarity that we can do this, but then being taken advantage of by these two right here, I pull my bow out and I try to kill the one to my left and just at least get one of them gone, and I pull the arrow back and just pray under my breath that I can finally land this one and take another shot at it.
Do you want to use your hunter's mark as well? Because you did refresh it.
Yes, I do.
So roll a d20 plus 8.
Thank you for reminding me.
And you'll have to roll twice for the disadvantage. Is gonna miss. It is, unless you want to do anything else. I don't think you have anything else you can do. If you can think of anything, you can do it. Otherwise, it's Caitlin's turn.
I mean, the only thing I think I'd do is like a run and probably get some like hides or get some like hide or something or advantage of height, but that would also
yeah, with these guys, they got wings. Anywhere you go, they can catch you basically.
It looks like I can jump on one and ride it.
So it is Caitlin's turn again.
I'm going to start attacking this monster that's next to the horse, because the horse is an ally, I'm flanking, and this is going to be with advantage. Okay, that's a 19 to hit, and another 19, so that's 6 points of damage.
Sweet. You take a bite out of this creature while its back is turned to you, and you chomp through its lower back area, and you actually feel your teeth pop something, some kind of organ, and you feel a mineralistic taste against your tongue as the creature screams in agony. You shake your head back and forth as the creature gradually goes more and more limp and dies in your mouth.
I am snarling, basically like a wolf with, prey in its jaws, and I just throw my head to one side and its corpse rolls across the ground in a bloody heap as I turn towards the remaining one, jaws and eyes just red.
Excellent. So Donkey is going to roll again. Oof. He's looking pretty bad. He's looking even worse. And you, Norin, you see the donkey out of the corner of your eyes. I mean, it's covered in fur, but however, you get a sense with your bond with nature, you get a sense that life is leaving this creature as its eyes roll into the back of its head. As this is all happening, you both hear a familiar voice. Hold fast, adventurers! As you both look to the south, Norin, you over your shoulder, you see a creature with wings and 4 legs, and it is flying towards you both. But riding atop of it is actually Carol Zillaru.
Oh!
So they fly in.
They have to roll to fly in, because if it's going to go like anything the rest of this game's going, they're going to miss and land in the opposite city.
So it flies in next to you, Norin. Carol Zillaru's riding on his back as well. First of all, the creature makes a snap at the imp with advantage. He's going to hit. He snaps at the imp to your right. Basically, the length of the imp fills up the front of the jaws, so only its head is hanging out and part of one of its wings, and the creature just snaps down on it multiple times, then swallows it. It is deadzo. Meanwhile, Carol Zillaru does a hand gesture, and he is locking on to the imp to your left, and he is going to attack it.
Just to double check, are Carol's pronouns he, they?
It's supposed to be they, them, but I keep missing it up.
Flips happen.
Yeah, I wanted him to be, sorry, I'm doing it again. I wanted this character to be non-binary, basically.
They, them. Thank you.
Yeah. They do a hand gesture, and holding it both hands in front of them, 3 oblong shining lights emerge from their hands, and they go flying into the imp, converging on it, killing it. Then Norin, Carol looks over at you and points up at the sky and says, "Up on," pats the spot behind him on the creature's back. If you want, you can take a movement action to hop on the creature's back. So you hop on, and Caitlin, you see the 3 of them fly up towards the cage.
Okay, awesome.
So I'll just give you a quick perspective. Actually, we'll wait till Norin's turn, and we'll show the perspective.
Missed an opportunity. I was just I look over and I just scream like R2 with sniper sore eyes as I jump and grab the creature's neck and head off into the sky.
Yeah.
A sigh of relief and appreciation.
We will say, actually, the creature in front of you, Caitlin, is gonna continue attacking, but
It's not bad though. It's like good luck down there.
the imps by the door are pretty much distracted. He's gonna try to attack at you, being the lone person or lone creature fighting you now. So first he tries for the bite and misses, returns to attacking with its tail, and it's gonna hit. It slashes at you with its tail, and it doesn't do too much damage, but one of its spines comes off in the process and bursts into flame, doing three damage.
So 1 and 3. Okay, let's.
Speaking of which, aren't I poisoned? Do I need to deal with that?
You are not poisoned, actually.
Okay. I should be more dead than I am, or more damaged.
Or no, you took the potion.
Oh right, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm back at max health again, yeah?
Yeah, you're doing fine. That potion is really OP, basically.
Okay, no, I just wanted that to reflect in my notes because I still have it as mine. I have to write it down because I have the memory of somebody who is poisoned.
So Caitlin, it is your turn again.
Okay, and then there was 1. So I'm gonna round on this guy next to me, and I'm just gonna keep ripping and tearing.
You take a snap at it, and you make a really nice chomp and start shaking. This one still has the vigor that its companion, unfortunately for it, lost while it was in the clutch of death. This one is still alive. A little worse for wear, putting it mildly.
Okay, good to know.
I don't know why, but you know Theodore is very perceptive. We'll say you don't know this in character, but he recognizes that you are a good guy, basically, but he doesn't know you're Caitlin. He is gonna try to throw a bottle off of the crate at the creature. It kind of flies past him and shatters over the cobblestone. The creature looks over at him, its eyes slitted as it is distracted, and probably gonna head that way when it gets a chance. So the warhorse is going to go next. It is going to lunge back towards the door. Its reins are long enough that it can reach that far, and it's going to try to attack the one closest to it. And it is going to hit.
All right.
It's going to take a big chomp out of the creature. The creature's still alive, but man, this warhorse is holding it. I keep calling it a warhorse. It's actually a workhorse. But at this point,
it's a warhorse at this point.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of thinking maybe this thing could be your warhorse. So Norin, you fly out of Market Street on the back of this creature, and
that's cool.
You are now flying above the city by about just 10 feet over the highest building around you, and you see the big bad evil guy about 100 feet above you. He's no longer holding on to the cage, but he is circling it with intent. The cage is 200 feet in the air, above you, rather. And there are 2 ships above. One of them is moving forward and kind of banking. As it does so, you notice many, many rows of cannons are opening through the portal openings of the cannon holds. They are pointing towards this big ship here, which you recognize as the Goblin City ship. Meanwhile, this ship over here, well, you see a lot of smaller skiffs boarding it as if they are bringing back their cargo, basically, which you can surmise through context is captured people. Meanwhile, the cage moves up one more square and
Just gave me a trolley situation.
You can direct the creature to move 2 squares, basically.
Okay, so shoot. As I'm thinking in my head, I'm scrambling what to do, because I initially I want to save our friends, Caitlin's siblings in the cage, but if I use a snare, they're just gonna drop to the ground while also watching these ships advance.
And keep in mind, if you get my siblings killed, I'm in a wolf form right now.
How powerful is my snare effect? Is it possible enough to take on a ship, or?
It is not possible. If you did succeed, you could get that guy if you succeeded.
But isn't he holding the cage?
No, he's now below the cage, circling below, guarding it from underneath.
Is a cage attached to a ship?
It is attached to this ship here by a chain.
Well, I think, because I'm a hunter's mark I just put on too, so I'll lose that if I use the snare. I mean, what can I even do to take on these ships? I'm not even sure what capabilities I even have to attack this besides distract them.
Just consider everything on the battlefield before you make your decision.
I think I should just try to attack the creature in front of me, because that's all I really can do.
If you were to move here, you're still 50 feet away from him, but that is long enough that you can get a good shot off at him.
I don't know what else I could possibly do. I mean...
Do you want to go for it then?
Well, I'm just trying to think of something else I could do.
Not unless you got closer to the cage. Could you consider doing anything with that?
If I did get closer to the cage, could I like cut it and somehow cut it and take it down?
I'm not going to say yes or no. Like, you'll have to get closer before you can see what you can possibly do to change the situation.
Okay, I'm going to get closer to the cage, because at this point I know I can't take on the ships, but I'm just tired of the death and mayhem at this point. I'm going to try to save who I possibly can save.
While you do it, you can move up 2 squares right now, which also includes diagonal squares. So do you want to move closer to the guy or kind of keep the same lateral distance?
Well, he's going to attack me anyway, so I might as well get close. And
you can also attempt to attack him from that distance if you want.
Okay, and that's the maximum distance I can move. Okay, and so yeah, I'm going to try to take a shot at him while I get closer. As I'm just scrambling, my eyes are dancing all over the place, and I'm looking at the ships, I'm seeing the cannons, and I see the cage, and just the urge to I need to save somebody. I move closer. As I pull my bow, as we're getting closer and closer to the cage, I take aim on that giant creature that started this mess and try to take one more shot at him.
So you can roll d20 plus 8. And that, unfortunately, is going to be a miss. That would have hit the imps, but it doesn't hit him. You let loose the arrow, it flies through the air. We'll say you have a little bit of vertigo from being so high up in the air.
You should have brought the horse.
Yeah, right. So we'll go back to the market, where it is the monster's turn. Oh yeah, sorry, this one was distracted by Theo. So he's actually going to try to move out of your range, Caitlin. So you get a attack of opportunity.
Okay, yeah, he's not going anywhere. He is going somewhere.
Oh, sorry, it was an 8. Yeah, so you snap at him. You miss. You're just too distracted by all that just happened. He flies up to Theo, and he is most likely going to succeed at a grapple. So he grabs onto Theo and starts flapping his wings, but he hasn't taken off yet.
Okay.
Meanwhile, these two are now distracted by the horse, while the third guy continues to try to pry the door open. He snaps off another plank, and you can hear muffled screams coming from inside the tavern. Otherwise, it is your turn.
My turn. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this thing that's trying to kidnap my brother.
Alrighty.
Am I technically flanking with Theo right now?
You are definitely flanking.
Cool, okay. Right, so this is gonna be with advantage.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So,
what is this?
It's a cursed run today.
So you snap down, your jaws just miss this thing somehow that's right in front of you, holding on to your brother.
And an 8 every time. Ugh.
We're going to go back to the sky battle. And this ship up here, it's continuing to bank as Norin, you see it. Basically, it is pointing perfectly broadside to the Goblin City ship. As the ship moves much closer, this thing is, however, coated in cannons. There are several dozen cannons, and they all let loose, impacting the hull of the goblin ship, which is riddled with smoke at this point. Meanwhile, this one is trying to hightail it out of there as the cage moves up one square, but to the right too. This guy, on the other hand, he is bad news. Actually, sorry, this ship is gonna move forward a little bit too.
I feel like Sarah McLachlan's in the eyes of an angel is going to play, and everything goes into slow motion at this point.
So this guy is really bad news. He has a javelin, which he is going to throw at the creature. It is going to hit the javelin. You see it fly out of the creature. The winged enemy goes hurling through the air and pierces one of the wings of the cool looking beast that you are riding. And while this is all going on, he actually flies around to the other side and catches the javelin over there. So it is pretty trouble. But regardless, it is now your turn. You could still direct the creature to fly away if you want, and you would still be within range to use your bow.
I was thinking, can I keep flying towards the cage, kind of out of the way of the creature, but firing backwards?
You can totally do that,
That's what I want to do.
And you'll still be able to hit him.
Okay.
If you can land the hit.
I can't, but let's do it. D20 plus 8, come on. I'm going to pull this thing back as far as I can and make this a crazy ass roll. Only I can see it, though. Hey,
you actually hit. So you're going to roll for damage. It's high. It's D8 plus
35.
D8 plus 4 and D6.
Something other than the 1. Come on. And then D6?
Yeah.
Woo!
So your arrow goes flying through the air, and it cracks into the monster's chest. He bellows out a roar, and you see the slits of his eyes sharpen, flame flickering through his pupils, even from that distance. Meanwhile, Carol looks back at you as he is holding the reins to the creature. Good job! Finally!
I look back and say, that was a good shot, but that may have been a mistake.
Yeah. So we'll go back to this battlefield. The creature holding on to Theo is going to try to fly straight up, and in doing so, Caitlin, you will get an attack of opportunity.
Please. Hey, just a sec. Because Theo is there and he's technically within 5 feet of this thing, is it advantage?
Yep, you get advantage.
15.
As the creature flaps its wings, you actually notice the length of its wings are pretty impressive. It is longer than its whole body. Each wing, rather, is longer than its whole body. It makes 2 flaps as it starts to ascend into the air, but you bite down on one of its ankles and you drag it down to the ground. And you start chomping into it. As you're doing so, Theo cowers back behind the other abandoned stall.
Cool. And it also has to make a strength saving throw, or it's knocked prone?
It's dead.
Oh, well, okay then.
You made a meal out of it.
Cool. So it's on the ground. It's probably screaming, trying to get free, but to make sure it doesn't fly away again, I'm literally ripping its wings off with my jaws, and I'm presuming that the shock of that and the pain and the sudden loss of blood is what kills it.
Indeed. So, before we go over to your turn, the imps are still distracted by the warhorse. Except for this one, which continues to break through the door. You hear a loud crack. As you look over, you see one of the hinges on the door has snapped off, and the door is partially pried open. But it is now your turn.
Okay, so it's to me. The warhorse is in trouble.
You know what? The warhorse, you've noticed that the imps can't seem to break its skin. So they're basically wasting their time here, but the other one is breaking through the door.
Okay, I guess I hear this. I see this. The haze clears momentarily. Then I'm gonna race straight at this thing and just basically try to rip it apart.
Okay, one going for the door. So make your attack roll.
At 1.
Ooh. Roll another 20.
Okay. 5.
You trip forward and you roll one of your front paws, and you actually, your snout bashes against the ground a little bit as you take a small amount of damage. 2 damage.
Okay. Is that reduced by half because of my rage?
Not in this case, because it's
Okay.
environmental, and well, it's caused from your rage, we'll say. So we'll now go to the air battle again. So Norin, what you notice is, as the smoke clears from the Goblin City ship up here, it doesn't seem like it took any damage at all, which is good for you guys. But you do see a smaller ship disembark from off of it. Sorry, it's much smaller than that. These resizings are very weird.
Looks like a fish.
Yeah, it does look like a fish. It's smaller than the Brigantines, but it flies off of the... There's actually a dock, which you can see part of it on top of the Goblin City ship. And this thing is zipping through the air. It flies really quickly, but it's headed towards you, basically.
This is friendly, yes?
One could assume it, since it came from a friendly, larger ship, a mothership. Meanwhile, the Goblin ship moves very quickly for its size. It is very close to this Brigantine, which is trying to move away.
Let's just go straight into it. This thing's huge. Just crash into it.
Meanwhile, this one keeps moving as the cage ascends and moves along with it. And you are getting farther away. But this Brigantine is now getting closer as well. It is your turn.
I turn and I look at them and I say, just keep following that cage as I turn around and keep shooting backwards at this giant devilish creature.
Okay, well, you can make an attack before you move out of range. Is your...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, make your attack first. Yeah, and then you can move.
I can feel them watching over my shoulder as with just a look on their face saying, make this count. And then I, once again, just cross whatever fingers, toes, whatever I have to make this shot. And I pull it back and just whisper something hopeful and let loose the arrow.
Hey, roll again. Ooh. Okay, roll for damage.
Okay. Damage. I'm just not saying anything till this roll is over. +4. And then a d6?
Yep.
And on a crit, I think you double all of your damage dice.
Yep,
okay, dude.
That is true. So that's actually an 8.
Yeah, roll another d8 and another d6.
Ah!
You get another d8 and another d6.
Oh, okay. D8 +4?
Just d8.
Oh, I may have done +4 on the original one. Shall I redo that?
No, the original one was +4.
Oh, okay. 6, and then d6. Just regular d6?
So let's see. You do pretty good amount of damage. 7, 13, 15. So you pull back. You feel like this time your aim is true, and you let loose the arrow. The bowstring almost makes a harmonizing thrum as it vibrates next to your ear, and the arrow sails through the air, piercing the creature in the chest. It roars as blood spurts from its chest, and he's real mad. He is gonna throw his javelin again.
I look over and say, let's hope we can keep this up. Our lives depend on it. Oh, Jesus.
And it's gonna be a big one.
Am I gonna be falling from the sky at this point?
Well, let's not spoil it. Well, first of all, let's move you, because you wanted to move. So you move over there.
Clearly I'm out of range of that perfect roll, right?
So he throws his javelin. As he does so, it goes right between you and creature you're riding and actually skins through the hind portion of the creature that you're sitting on top of, going right through to the other side. This guy is not too slow, though. He flies all the way around and catches the javelin on the other side.
What the fuck?
The creature you're riding screeches as you notice the guy who's flung around. He inhales, taking a very deep breath,
breathes fire, doesn't he?
You got it. And he is, well, he breathes you see a wall of flame emerge from his mouth, and you got very lucky. But basically you're going to take 10 points of damage. Also, you get bucked from the creature, and you are now falling.
Oh boy.
Back to the market. This creature is going to try to attack Caitlin with his spear, and he's going to miss. The other one that you just attacked is also going to try to attack you and also miss. This guy, he's still attacking the thing in front of him, but can't seem to damage it. But now it is your turn, Caitlin.
I'm going to go for the one that actually is between me and the horse, because then I have advantage on it because it's within 5 feet of the horse.
Yeah.
Man, I love this dire wolf form. It's so great for team-based combat. Anyone to hit?
All right, so that is
damage.
That is a hit, and you chomp down on the creature, and similarly to how the attack from that flying creature went, you bite this thing. Your jaws engulf it whole as you snap down on it. You feel its bones cracking beneath your jaws, or between your jaws. Do you want to swallow it?
You know what? Sure.
All right.
I'm pissed as all hell, and I'm just operating on animal instinct.
So you go into a death shake as you jolt your head from left to right, and as every time you do so, you swallow a little bit more of the creature until, with a final gulp, it goes down your esophagus.
Awesome.
He did.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And the warhorse is actually gonna attack again and miss. But otherwise, back to the air battle. Norin, what you see is the airship starts to ram the brigantine, and it goes right through it. This one with the cage is going to keep moving. It's moving with the cage as well. This brigantine flies by the new ship on the battlefield, and as it does so, you're close enough that you see 3 small creatures jump off of the deck of this ship that looks like a fish. You can see that they have suits with propellers on the back of them. As you squint to look, meanwhile you're falling through the air while this happens, but you squint to look.
Right here.
You squint to look, and you see they're diving towards you, but they have green skin. We'll say you fall a little bit. So you're going to basically fall to that square. Actually, you know what? We'll put your token on the battlefield just so we have a reference point. So you are now 2 squares underneath where the flying creature bucked you. Flying or diving towards you are 3 little green dudes, and they're not too far, with propeller packs on them. The creature you were riding and the big bad evil guy are going toe-to-toe, Carol launching magic attacks as it is breathing fire, and you think maybe you were a little outgunned for this. Carol probably didn't know better. Yeah, that's what's going on, and it is now your turn.
I mean, what can I even do besides, do I have like a rope I can maybe try to shoot towards the goblin to pull him towards me and maybe take advantage of his propeller device?
You know what? You do have a rope. You do have a hempen rope, and you could try to do that if you want. If you tie the rope to your arrow.
I think that's the only thing I can even do at this point. I mean, I don't have any spell supply, and so as I'm falling, I can feel the wind on my face, and the panic is setting in, and I'm falling, watching the battle go on further and further away from my eyes, realizing how outgunned I was. I cross my fingers once again and fashion the rope to the arrow and try to shoot it at the creature flying towards me to just somehow attach myself to this machinery.
So you're going to make an attack roll with advantage in that case. Or sorry, not with an advantage, with +8. So D20 +8.
I would say the situation is a little bit disadvantaged.
Or sorry, D20 +6. Because you're...
6?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can just take 2 off of that. So it's a 19.
Well, I mean, should I roll again? It's only fair.
No, because it's just the modifier that changed. Like, it doesn't affect the dice.
Okay, that's okay.
So you fire your arrow through the air. It flies by one of the goblins, who seems to get the idea, but he grabs on. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil that they were goblins till you got closer. Hey, surprise, they're goblins. He grabs on and gives you a thumbs up, which you can see at a distance, but you're still falling. So we'll go back to the market.
Don't I speak? Oh, never mind.
Oh, what were you going to say?
Well, can I speak their language, or do I not know that yet, since it was a spoiler?
I don't think you have goblin.
Okay. No, honestly, that's unrealistic too. They wouldn't be. I'm free-falling, not like I can hold a conversation.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so we'll go back to the market, and this dude in front of you is going to continue trying to attack you.
I should be landing right next to Caitlin any minute now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Well, at least they're getting ones. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? That's not good for it. So he pokes at you with his pitchfork, Caitlin, and you snap back at him, and he lunges backwards, and his back hits against the wall, and in doing so, he clips his shoulder with his pitchfork, and you see a gaping wound in its left shoulder. Meanwhile, this imp is going to fly around, and he is going to try to attack you. So that is a miss. And it is now your turn.
Okay, go for, you know what, the one between me and the horse again. Just keep taking advantage of this situation. Sweet. Okay,
Sweet. Similarly to the last one, you bite down and you just start snapping your jaws, completely enveloping the creature, breaking the bones, holding its wings together. You snap one of its horns. Blood's flying everywhere, and you want to swallow this one too.
I'm just gonna, I will eat as many as I have to, or want to, which is all of them.
This one, when you eat it, it's kind of like a dog swallowing without chewing. You just swallow him whole, and you don't feel any resistance while you do so. Okay, so back to the air battle. The Goblin City ship keeps on going, but it's slowing down after ramming this brigantine, which crashes into the ground. Caitlin, you hear an explosion to the south of you as you see this thing fall out of the sky, but you don't know where it lands. Norin, you do see where it lands, and it lands on the remaining shipyard that didn't burn down, and it crashes right into the middle of it. And there's a smoking heap of rubble where it landed, but otherwise the cage.
We're not doing too good for the people of that city, but god dang, we're gonna save the people of the cage.
Yeah, the cage. Well, they're not doing too great on that either. So the cage moves up one square, and
we have the saving capacity of Marvel movies in the cities.
And meanwhile, this ship flies overhead of you, and it's actually starting to turn. In so doing, even at this distance, it's not actually that far from you, but you can hear something thudding, as if taking heavy footsteps on the deck of the ship. And you hear 1, 2, 3, 4. This big guy, who I've titled Big Boy, jumps off. Meanwhile, the ship that looks like a fish, it's zipping around. It's coming back around. You see 2 more goblins jump off of the deck, but these 2, they don't have any propeller suits on, and they just start plunging down, and you're just like, what the hell? But as they do so, they get lower and lower, and you can see a backpack on these guys, each of these guys, and a big sheet comes out of them, and it slows their fall. So it is, for those of you who are out of character, it is a parachute. Meanwhile, this goblin flies closer to you, and he is actually going to grab onto you as his other 2 companions grab on as well. They're all represented by 1 token. They look up at the dude who jumped off of the other brigantine, and they just start propellering out of the way as this guy falls. And, 2 squares. And you could take your turn now. You can still attack if you would like to.
These aren't friendlies, are they?
The goblins are. The dude who just jumped off of the brigantine is not.
I look and I try to communicate with the goblins, but they're trying to see if I can communicate in some way to see if they're friendly or not.
Do you want to speak in one of the languages you know, or common, or what?
Yes, yes. Is there any language I could speak that can communicate with them?
Well, you don't know what they speak. You know Common, Elvish, Abyssal, and Orin.
I speak in some sort of jumbled sentence of it all to see if anything rings a bell or anything alerts their ears in some sort of understanding.
So you're like, Friktish Hokta. I don't know. Yeah? You get that? And you see his ears tingle at the last part. So it seems like he knows Common. Now, do you still want to make an attack with your...
Yes. Can I not speak an attack, or do I have like one choice or the other?
Nope. You can. Well, we'll say you don't have enough time to say more than what you just said, but you do have enough time to kind of shoot your bow at the same time.
I see them carrying me and confused why they caught me in the first place. I just quickly make the decision that clearly they're trying to help me in some. Hopefully they're trying to help me at some point. And I see the creature. Is this thing falling or chasing us?
It is. It jumped off of the deck and it's headed straight down into the market.
Okay, so I try to. I look. And I'm trying to make decisions as quickly as possible as all this is happening. And I just come to the realization that this person is not attacking me in the moment. If they do, I will deal with it when it comes. But I take another shot at the creature trying to go to the market.
Okay, so roll an attack roll. You won't be able to use your hunter's mark, unfortunately, because you are focused on the horned guy who's now out of your reach, flying around up here. But you can still do a d20 plus 6.
Oh, plus 6? I'm sorry. That was a plus 8. Well, should we do another roll or just 15?
Nope, we'll just do 15. So you let loose your arrow, it flies through the air, and it bounces off of the creature's armor. So that is all you can do. We will go back to the market, where this guy, this lone imp, is going to try to attack Caitlin. And he takes a slash with his tail this time, and misses. But it is now your turn.
Right. Just gonna keep doing what I do best, so. Okay, that's an 11 to hit.
I'm gonna make it hit, just because I want this guy to die this turn.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank
you. God intervenes, and you snap on your jaws on this guy. 3 times a charm, same as the last, and you rip him to shreds in your mouth and make the decision of whether you are still hungry or not.
Yep, I'm just going full feral wolf. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this guy as well.
Okay, as a wolf, you're like, so hungry, and you swallow it down. But as you do so, you look up and you see a very big baddie fallen towards you very quickly, with a flurry of, you can actually make them out from this distance. There's like a swarm of goblins flying around him, with some kind of apparatuses attached to him. But we will go back to the sky battle real quick. That goblin city ship is Gonzo city ship. The cage ascends into the hull of the brig as it flies off. And this brig is also flying off. These guys are still fighting up here. But you see the commie, you see from a distance the creature blows one more fireball, and your winged companion starts plummeting. But anyway, the smaller goblin ship is zipping all over the place, flying away. It seems to be trying to maneuver for something. But you descend with your new goblin friends back to Market Street, where you rejoin the battle. Well, Caitlin just killed the final imp. But you're going to drop down right pretty much where you were when you got picked up. They're very hard.
That's the size of my confidence right now.
They're very hard to resize. So you drop down, and the 3 goblins that were helping you are now standing by your side.
I asked them in a panic, now that I know the language they speak in, if they could help our friend that's fallen from the sky, in a desperate plea.
The ferocious looking one is just like, one thing at a time.
we could offer some gold to them in exchange for helping. Just in a panic.
He brushes you off. There's too much going on.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just looking for the other guy. Or sorry, I said 3 earlier. I actually meant to say 2 goblins with propeller packs. So this female goblin and this ferocious-looking guy all to your side. Meanwhile, a really tiny big boy, just kidding, he's actually that big, falls down.
Holy shit.
And you see the dust from the spot he lands. You see dust fly up in the air. But as he falls, you actually see he seems to have taken some damage in falling. It was a very long drop, and you actually do see parts of his armor break off. Caitlin, it is now your turn.
It's now my turn? Oh boy. So this enormous guy just drops out of the sky immediately after I kill all of these imps.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. I see this guy, and does he look hostile?
He looks very hostile. He's got flames coming out of his eyes. He is smoldering holes in parts of his armor, and he just looks very menacing. And he is holding a big burning club.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna growl at him, then run, lunge, and basically bite whatever is the nearest thing in reach.
We'll move you closer.
22 to hit.
That is going to be a hit.
Sweet. 11 points of damage. And he has to make a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Is that size dependent?
Oh, that is a good question. If the target... it just says if the target is a creature. It says nothing about size.
Okay, so we'll do it. What's the DC?
DC is 13, and given this guy's size and probable strength, I'm sure it's not very hard for him to clear.
Yeah, I mean, that is... well... well, he doesn't clear it, so he is prone.
Okay.
But that's good news for you guys. He falls to the ground as you bite at his ankles. You feel, as you snap down on his ankles, you feel burning sensation at your teeth, but it doesn't actually cause you any damage. Nevertheless, he is very hot.
Yeah, this is not fun to be fighting. The sooner we get this over with, the better.
The other goblins, the other 2 goblins that were coming in on parachutes now drop down, and they're pretty cool looking. They look to be surprisingly handsome for goblins. But yeah, they are gonna run up and both try to make unarmed attacks against this dude. And they're both gonna hit. So yeah, they just synchronized, make roundhouse kicks flat against the prone creature's foot, and you do feel like they made some slight amount of damage. Meanwhile, the other 2, this one on the left, he's going to throw a javelin, while this one over on the right is going to fire her bow. And the javelin soars through the air but misses. The bow, however, does hit. And you just see an arrow fly through the air and stick through the monster's foot as blood trickles down. Norin, it is now your turn.
Trying to gauge the situation. Trying to think if it'd be better if I tried the thorn thing to tie the person down, but I think he's too big and it's be kind of a useless tactic. Dude's fucking huge.
Yeah, he's biggin'.
Honestly, I don't know what to do, but just start firing everything I have at him.
That is wise. Make a attack roll with your bow. D20 plus 6.
Plus 6? I thought, what, it's not 8?
No, because your hunter's mark is still on the guy elsewhere.
Oh, right. Is that a miss?
That is a hit.
Oh, and so
D8 plus 4.
Trying to navigate all these windows with touchpad is always fun.
Oh, nice. Your arrow, you knock your bow and let loose the arrow. It flies through the air, rupturing the creature's foot as a gush of blood starts to trickle next to the other arrow that was fired earlier. And the creature is going to stand up. He will not attack yet. However, you guys do notice Sorry, because he was prone, he won't attack. You guys do notice 3 more goblins come through on propeller packs. And you know from context that goblins always travel in big groups. So these 3 drop down, and they all have a sizzling ball of energy forming in each of their 2 of them in their right hands, 1 in their left hand, because he's a southpaw. But they are going to attack.
Lefties go.
Sorry?
Go lefties go. I'm left-handed.
Yeah. So they are all going to make attacks. They throw these hurling balls of energy. 2 of them explode on impact and nothing happens. However, the other one does hit and it explodes, sizzling into the creature's skin at its knee, burning it. Caitlin, it is now your turn.
Okay, so now that we're in a... Is it possible for me to run around to the other side of the guy at all? Because of speed?
Yeah, actually it is. He is actually pretty slow. He's mostly size dependent. So where did you want to run, roughly?
If it's possible, given the size of the map, I would like to get on the other side so that I'm flanking and giving all of the goblins advantage on their attack rolls.
Okay, cool. So we will put you there.
Thank you, that works for me. Okay, so 22 to hit.
Sweet. Roll for damage.
Okay, that is 8 points of piercing damage.
Oh, sorry, you already did. Do you get to do the pull down thing again, or?
Yep, every time I hit with an attack.
Okay, cool.
13 DC, I think he fails by 1.
Okay, cool. So he falls to the ground again, and as he does so, he falls forward to his knees, and you feel the ground shake. This guy, he is very bulky. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. What just happened?
So there were more goblins. There's now 7, I believe, on the map. Yeah. There's now 7 goblins. And Caitlin just knocked the creature prone again.
The big guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could, it's your turn again. You could attack. If you attack him, you attack with advantage as he's prone.
And all the goblins are on our side, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see Caitlin jump at his back, and at this point, I'm just trying to unload shots as much as I can at him. Every vulnerable spot I see, I aim for the spots when he fell, how his armor shattered. I just do my best to aim at those spots where he's exposed. And I hit the building on the right where the dead horse is over here. I think I hit somewhere around there.
Nice. So the creature is going to stand up, and he roars. You see the flames pick up all around his body as he holds his club up. And unfortunately, he is going to get to do something despite having been prone. He is going to swing his club forward in an arc, and you see all these goblin buddies go flying back, and they are all prone. But as all this happens, that other ship, the other goblin ship, it flies overhead, and you see another character jump off. We're just throwing NPCs at you right now. This guy dives off. Here, I'll make him a little bit bigger just so you get a sense. He's not a race you're familiar with, but he jumps off, and he is holding a giant harpoon as a weapon in one hand, and he jumps onto the back of the creature, interrupting his roar. Unfortunately, his harpoon bounces off of the creature's shoulder as he somersaults off of the front and lands in front of him. And at the same time, we'll say, Caitlin, you see between the creature's legs in front of it, you see space ripple as a ball of energy expands, and out steps another goblin. But this one is blue. And he, in his hands, materializes a pair of, each of his hands, he materializes a pair of blue glowing daggers. And he attacks with the first one and misses. But the second one hits, and he slashes at it, and you see Norin in front of you, a blue goblin materialize through what you could only describe as a portal. And as he steps forward, he materializes daggers in his hands, attacking once, missing, attacking again with the other dagger. He slices at the creature's ankle and breaks skin. And it is now Caitlin's turn.
Right. Just gonna keep going at it. It's gonna be 23 to hit.
Sweet. So you hit, and he is... And this time he's going to resist your drag down, but you see him panting a little bit, and you feel like maybe you guys are actually doing some damage to him. With all of these friendlies on the field, you hear a familiar voice shouting in the distance, "For Striegand!" And it is Horus. And he's flying overhead, and he tucks his wings in as he flies forward, legs first with his talons pointed towards the enemy, and he's going to do 2 attacks, both hitting, gashes at it with his front legs, and then he follows through with an uppercut, and you see the creature stumble a little bit, but still yet you hear another familiar. This one kicks down the tavern door and out steps Virgil, and he sees Theo and Dorothy, and he just yells across the battlefield, "Stay down, MacReadies!" And he fires his heavy crossbow. The bolt, it ruptures the creature's knee, and Norin, it is now your turn.
I look over and I see shots being fired from the side, and I breathe a sigh of relief as we're getting more and more friendlies over here to help us take this gargantuan creature down. And all I can think to do at this point is just keep unloading onto those exposed spots. Okay,
so you let loose your arrow, and ping, bounces off of his right shoulder armor.
I think this is supposed to be called the Curse of the Clouds.
The Curse of the Clouds. So as you fire your arrow, the familiar gnome you met or did battle with on the previous battlefields or battle map steps forward. "Hey fellas, holding down the battle for us?" And he fires his short bow. You see Audie run up behind him, and she also fires her short bow. So I guess you guys can probably guess where this is going. Ooh.
You know, I know you like to play games on hard, Void, but you didn't have to make the dice rolls on hard.
Right. So they're both going to hit, and Pickgazer fires his arrow, which flies through the air, hitting the other knee of the creature, while Audie does the same, and hers does a pretty decent amount of damage, but blood is spurting down the creature's shins as you feel, Caitlin, that it has gotten even weaker still. You do notice all the goblins who are prone now stand up, but it is now your turn, Caitlin.
Okay, fun. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try to take this thing down as fast as I can with everybody pitching in. So, just gonna keep biting and biting and biting at it. It's not interesting, but it works.
And it's oh, sorry, you get 2 rolls.
Does anyone speak first?
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Yeah, he does resist the drag down, but you bite at his Achilles tendon, and you don't quite sever it, but you do make a pretty good dent into his skin, and you see blood trickling from where you bit him. Off of the building from the left of the battlefield, Alisaria jumps in, and she steps forward with her katana and makes an attack, and she is gonna hit. One more character jumps off of the roof of the building to the right, and this one is the hobgoblin Drakneg the Teal Blade, and he attacks with his teal greatsword, and he actually misses. But overhead, you hear a screech, and you look up as you see this guy again. Yeah, so you see that thing fly overhead, and Carol looks over the side. It flies down on the battlefield, and Norin, you're glad to see that they actually are both still alive. So he is going to make a bite attack, and he snaps at the creature's knee. Actually, you hear a pop as if maybe he is actually tore something off, and meanwhile, Carol jumps off of the back of the creature and does a hand gesture, fluttering his arms through the air, and 3 more orbs fly out, converging on the same spot, which is the face of the creature. They all explode onto its face as, Caitlin, you feel the creature start to fall backwards, as if he's going to fall on top of you. You guys, you get 1 final attack, but you sense life is flickering from this creature. What do you want to do? You can synchronize your attacks as well.
Yeah. We could all do it at the same time?
Yeah.
Or let's synchronize.
Okay.
On the count of 3?
Count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Okay, so you, Norin, you run forward and you look at the goblins in front of you. They cradle their hands together as if understanding what you want to do, and they lift you up into the air as you pull your bowstring back and you fire an arrow off, which lands right between the creature's temples, while you, Caitlin, you go back for the Achilles tendon and you rip it out as the creature's knee buckles, and it, instead of falling backwards, falls forward, and as it does so, the arrow in its forehead plunges deeper as it impacts the ground. And combat is now over.
Like the entire ground would shake with this guy.
Yeah, it does shake. The fires are...
I guess I am panting.
You are definitely panting. The fires go out as the creature, its life force, disappears. You all look up as the dust settles and you see the 2 brigs go off beyond the horizon, basically, out of your line of sight, beyond the tops of where the buildings break your vision.
Out of breath and kind of amazed and mesmerized and shocked and exhausted. I'm still holding the bow right where I let loose the arrow as I watch the ships fly away.
So how about we take a break? I gave you guys a lot of encounters all back to back because I decided, hey, we're going to do a city invasion in the first act of the campaign. So let's take like a 5 to 10 minute break just to recharge. And when we come back, go ahead.
Oh, no, not that. I should have waited. I just made some rice. I'm like, oh, I probably should have waited.
Oh, yeah. Well, now's a good chance to eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come back in 5 to 10 minutes.
As Norin stands there, he thinks to himself, too bad Havi missed this one.
Yeah, I know. I made that whole air battle with him in mind.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, now I got to figure out a way to get one of you guys to do it.
All the shots I missed were the ones that Havi was supposed to land.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
And that was very tough for 2 players too.
It was fun though. That was a blast. That was nail biting, I should say. I can't think of the word I was looking for.
I'm glad we could make it work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's reconvene in a moment. The following music has been used under Creative Commons. Lobby Time, SCP-X2X Unseen Presence, Mountain Emperor, Industrial Cinematic, Finding the Balance, by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0. And Covert Ops, Hellhond Alley, Terraforming, Voyage Begins, Gravity, Harpies Nest, Lord of Bones, and Dark Angel from Tabletop Audio.
Havi, Chris, and Kami are all content creators as well, and you can find their projects in the description of the podcast on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching and listening, folks, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!